This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up? Back with another one. So Stephen A's show is facing cancellation due to him dissing Jasmine Crockett. Let's check out how this started with this clip of her speaking on Donald Trump. You definitely don't want to miss this, so let's go ahead and get into it right now.
Stop falling for the okie doke. Stop believing the lies that they are putting out there and the terrible racist tropes that they are constantly using to rile people up. It is time to recognize that while you thought the enemy was the immigrant, or you thought the enemy was the trans person, or you thought that the enemy was the black folk, or you thought the enemy were the women, when the reality is that the only person that is harming you right now, if you are struggling to make sure that you can pay your bills, if you're struggling to feed your family, if you are struggling to find a job, if you are struggling to keep your business open, or if you are a farmer, while we currently have record level bankruptcies by farmers, it is not any of those people on the list. It is the old white Nepo baby that is sitting in the White House that is causing all the destruction, pain, and problems that you are enduring.
Let me just jump in real quick now. This moment definitely got people talking. Anytime public figures speak on political names, especially during heated discussions, it can spark strong reactions. Some folks feel lines were crossed, while others think it's just commentary. Let's keep watching.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done, as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him, since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be.
Stephen A. Smith is the Kevin Hart of the sports media. Smith is a plant. Disney and ESPN installed Smith at the top of the sports media world because his inadequacies as a journalist make him easy to control.
But I felt compelled to come on the air a little bit earlier this week after what I've had to endure this weekend. What I had to endure this weekend were an abundance of people talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas, Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become, a big time public figure in essence. Not just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera. And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you're at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
What's up? So what are my thoughts about this? Here's the thing. When a major personality like Stephen A. finds himself at the center of controversy, especially involving political figures like Jasmine Crockett, the reaction can be swift and intense. People tune into shows like his because of the strong opinions and bold takes, but when that confidence starts to touch on sensitive areas or respected individuals, things can flip quickly. The internet is never short on opinions, and when clips like this surface, it becomes more than just sports or entertainment commentary. It turns into a larger conversation about boundaries, respect, and public accountability. Now, it's important to understand that cancellation talk is something that comes up a lot, sometimes just as a strong reaction online, and other times with real consequences. But in moments like these, the bigger question becomes about the impact, how audiences are responding, how platforms might view this, and what it means moving forward. Okay, so drop a comment, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.